Android feature update March 21, 2018. With the recent global release of PUBG Mobile, we thought we'd give this piece a bump with some added impressions. We've indicated where new comments have been made. Fortnite vs PUBG is undoubtedly the biggest scrap in gaming right now. It's up there with FIFA vs PES, Street Fighter vs Mortal Kombat, Mario vs Sonic, and Quake vs Unreal Tournament. Now the fight has begun to spill over onto mobile, with the recent invite-only launch of Fortnite on iOS following on from the Chinese soft launch update, and the subsequent global rollout of PUBG Mobile. We thought we'd quickly run through some of the key differences between Fortnite Mobile and PUBG Mobile. Core differences. Before we go into the differences between these mobile conversions, it's perhaps worth quickly running through the key differences between the core games. This will probably determine which mobile version you prefer more than anything else. PUBG places far more emphasis on gun mechanics and fine-tuning your setup. There's far more stuff to collect across a much larger and more complex map. As a result, PUBG is a much more slow-paced and explorative experience, with looting far more of a factor. There are also vehicles to commandeer in PUBG, unlike Fortnite where it's all on foot. Fortnite gets you into the action much quicker, and its gun and loot mechanics are more transparent. If you've ever played a console shooter, it will feel instantly familiar. Fortnite's key twist is its construction system. Unlike PUBG, you can make your own cover and even makeshift forts by harvesting materials and entering a dedicated building menu. Being able to erect such structures on the fly is arguably a more important task than being able to aim, making it feel very different to PUBG. That being said, these are both battle royale games, so let's take a look at how the two mobile versions compare. Fortnite Mobile is closer to the original, while PUBG Mobile seems to be a faithful interpretation of the original PC game. Fortnite Mobile is the original game running on a tiny screen. How is such a thing even possible? There are a few reasons that we'd put forward for this. Most obviously, Epic Games is pretty much the biggest game engine maker in town, with Unreal Engine powering hundreds of blockbuster games across all platforms, including mobile. This is a finely tuned engine that can be optimized for pretty much any modern platform you care to mention. Add in the fact that Epic itself worked on Fortnite Mobile, and it's not much of a surprise that it positively sings. Conversely, PUBG is a famously janky, if brilliant, game built by a startup developer based on a cult PC mod. Also, development for the mobile version was farmed out to a different developer. Beyond that, PUBG's world is simply much bigger, more complex and more demanding than Fortnite's, so it was always likely to be a bigger task to bring to mobile. Fortnite's world is generally better suited to mobile. Let's pick up on that last point. I'd argue that Fortnite was always going to be a more natural fit for mobile than PUBG. Its world is more compact and its art style a lot simpler and bolder. This isn't just a matter of required processing power, but also one of legibility. In Fortnite's primary colored world, enemies and items pop against the scenery. Weapons are color-coded so you can identify them from a distance. Shooting enemies makes color-coded hit points pop out of them, so you know exactly what damage you're doing. PUBG, by contrast, is styled a lot more like a military sim, told in shades of gray and brown. It's the quintessential PC game, and thus not so well suited to tiny mobile screens. Update, but PUBG seems to be more scalable. Key advantage of PUBG Mobile being built specifically for mobile devices is that it works well even on relatively modest hardware. Conversely, while Fortnite runs like a dream on my iPhone X, I've heard reports that it runs like a dog on an iPhone SE and other older hardware. What's more, you can tweak and fine-tune PUBG Mobile with a number of graphical settings, so you can prioritize performance over polish or vice versa. Fortnite, by contrast, is frustratingly inflexible. PUBG is smarter with loot and items. I'd argue that PUBG Mobile has a more sophisticated approach to handling loot and item interaction on a tiny touch screen than Fortnite Mobile. Both games have you picking up loot automatically when you first run over it, with PUBG also fitting out your weapons with the best enhancements where appropriate. Fortnite doesn't need the latter element. Its guns are complete upon collection, but it treats subsequent weapon pickups and item interactions slightly differently. Chests, weapons, items and doors need to be touched directly where they lie. This is intuitive, yes. But it can also be awkward when they're not positioned near your thumb on the screen. PUBG Mobile, on the other hand, gives you a context-sensitive pop-up menu or button prompt to interact with such things. It makes things busier, yes, but it's also more orderly and ultimately empowering. PUBG gives you free look. Regular Fortnite and PUBG players will tell you all about the benefits of the free look function. This enables you to look around your character whilst running or when hidden, which is really handy to avoid getting sneaked up on, or even to peek your opponents, get a view on them when they can't see you. Put simply, PUBG Mobile has included this feature, while Fortnite Mobile omits it. That's a clear point to PUBG Mobile. Update, it isn't actually